My sister became a monk. She just left one day. My father just came and sat on one chair. He just wept and wept and wept for 3 days. Nothing wonderful can ever happen if you go by those emotions. You wouldn't have a Gautama. Jesus said, I have no mother. That doesn't sound gentle at all. But that's how it is. You have to see whether this is really what you want to do or is it just a whim. There's a place called Hazar Kali. That's an incredibly powerful place. The priestess who is there, wow. She's a goddess herself. Linga Bhairavi is that kind of energy that people could use it for many things. People start thinking that Linga Bhairavi is far more powerful than Dhyana Linga. During a certain phase of the consecration of the Dhyana Linga, I took on a completely different kind of attitude, which some people loved and some people were terrified of. So Linga Bhairavi will be somewhat like that. The way you think is the way you emote. Emotion is just the juicier and heavier part of the thought. Emotion doesn't need any handling. If you keep your thought on track, emotion will follow.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. How do I make my family understand my longing for the ultimate without hurting them?
Oh. I told you I'm not very good at sorting out family problems. Even within my own family, I never could handle the drama. Drama began to happen, I just left. Too much drama. People like drama. They can't just come, sit down and look at something and come to one decision. They just like drama, you know. So, there's no such thing as everybody understanding and you doing something. There's no such thing. How do I do it as gently as possible is something that you have to see. And first of all, you have to see whether this is really what you want to do or is it just a whim. If a whim lasts just for a weekend, it's okay. Suppose a whim lasts for 5 years, then it costs life, you know. So family will be naturally worried. If their worry and concern is only your well-being, you must treat it with utmost consideration. Because they have right to be concerned about you. They must be concerned about you. I wouldn't appreciate it if they were not concerned about you. But if any family is only… it is not a question of concern, it is just they want to impose their own whims upon other people, then I have no value for such things. I don't call that a family. So, if it is just an imposition that somebody is doing around you, for anybody I'm saying, that means you don't really have a family. If it is they're concerned, that we must appreciate and see how to handle. It must be considered. It's very important that you don't just throw it aside. It needs to be considered. But there is a point beyond which people may believe that they're concerned, but it just amounts to kind of madness. Because after all, whatever our children, what they're going to do, we don't know. When they go out, you don't know what they will do. When you go out, you don't know what somebody else may do to them, or you don't know what the hell may happen to them. This is an everyday thing, isn't it? Isn't it so? If you want to think about it, what's going to happen, it'll drive you mad. That is so for any parent. So there is a point where concerns ends and madness begins. If it is going towards the madness, then we have to break that also. But concern is good, it must be there. A young person is going to do something which is very different from what everybody is doing, so they are little afraid and concerned, da. It's fine, but it must stop somewhere. And above all, you must know whether you are 100% clear about what you're doing. It should not be a whim. There's no such thing as making everybody understand. I don't believe that even today. My family understands even today, I don't think they approve it even today. She went and met my dad. He doesn't really approve all this nonsense. He still has not pardoned me for not being a doctor. Okay? But because things have grown and things have happened, he's sort of given in, okay. But still not the real thing. Okay? So there is no such thing as making everybody understand. So if I should not hurt my father, you understand? I wouldn't be here and your father wouldn't have any problems either. It's a chain, you know. I remember my sister became a monk. She just left one day. She was telling them, but they just thought they could just brush her aside and somehow get her married. So they went to Bangalore. We are living in Mysore, they went to Bangalore. So they were constantly looking for alliances to fix up. Nothing was coming together. So when they went to Bangalore, she thought anyway they're again going for the same purpose and she left. In the morning she was going for some, some typing classes and things. She left and then she said she's going to the Ramakrishna ashram for some function and she's supposed to come back in the evening. But she just left. But I knew she's going. I was the only one who knew that she's leaving. Because many times I had planned to leave the house. We were building a boat and I thought we are going to sail to Tahiti. So we were always planning to leave and sometimes we thought we will just go off to Bombay. At that time Bombay was something, okay, in our minds. We thought we'll get onto some ship and go away somewhere. Me and my friends planned we will get onto a ship and go as a crew and go somewhere to some other part of the world. So we always thought when we leave, what should we have? What are the essential things we must have? So one thing is we always believe that we must take the SSC certificate, the 10th standard. Wherever you go, you got that thing. So 3 days ahead of time, all these certificates are stored in one place which are kept locked, it's not for any reason, for safety, it is kept locked by my father. She took it out and kept it in her things. Then I knew she's going. She got her certificates together, so I knew she's going. So I was just waiting, okay, when is she going to go? Then she left in the morning and she said she's going to that institute. Somehow I knew that today is the day because my parents are not at home. So she went at 7:30 in the morning. Then I went there at 10 o'clock. I just went to check if she signed in. She had not signed in. Then I knew she's left. Then I waited till evening because I wanted her to reach the place wherever the hell she's going. I don't know where she's going. At least let her go and reach that halfway through, somebody catches her and brings her back. So I waited till 6 o'clock in the evening and then called my dad and told him, she's gone. Then we went and asked in the ashram, they said, we don't know. They're not like Isha, where we try to sit and counsel the parents endlessly and get into all kinds of nonsense with them. They just said, we don't know. So then, in the middle of the night, my mother, father would everybody rush back and the whole jing-bang, all uncles, aunts, all the warriors in the family. They all came, big noise. I remember my father just came and sat on one chair and he just didn't get up from that place for 3 days. He just sat there. I'd never seen him like that. He just wept and wept and wept for 3 days. He just was almost paralyzed, he just sat there. I know the man went through enormous pain. So they went, she had gone to Kerala, Trishur, so this whole army of people went there. They said, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And they went there. There they went and they didn't open the gates. They just stood at the main gate for 2 days and they came back. They just didn't open the gates. So this whole brave army that went, totally defeated, they came back. And my dad just sat like this. 3 days. And after some time, of course, he recovered and this and that. He was totally heartbroken. But now, after a year or so, he's extremely proud of her. He's very proud, he's talking to everybody, my daughter, like she's taken sannyas. He's suddenly very proud. So, I don't want to discuss me. I'm not talking lightly about their emotions and their pain and whatever. But if you go by that, nothing will ever happen on this planet. Nothing worthwhile can ever happen on this planet if we go by those emotions. Nothing new can ever happen. You wouldn't have a Gautama. You know what Jesus said? He was in a crowd of people and somebody said, your mother has come, make way, his mother is coming. Jesus said, I have no mother. Who is that woman? That doesn't sound gentle at all. But that's how it is. So, there is a point till which you consider the concern of people around you. When concern becomes madness, you have to do something about it, otherwise nothing new can ever happen on this planet. No growth can happen, nothing wonderful can ever happen if you go by those emotions. So it's an individual thing, I'm not trying to put everybody in the same perspective, but if you are so sure what you're doing, you must talk to them. Talk to them, talk to them, talk to them, talk to them, till they're frustrated and say, get out. I hope parents don't go through the kind of things the way my dad went through it. He went through it real bad, real bad. Nobody had ever seen him like that. He just sat like this, broken.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. How can I handle my emotions gracefully?
How to handle emotion? The way you think is the way you emote. If you think something is good, sweet emotions will come forth. If you think something is horrible, nasty emotions will come forth. It's not any different. Emotion is just the juicier and heavier part of the thought. This is dry and light. You can think whatever you want, but with emotion it's heavier. One day, a mother walked into the bedroom of her son and said, "Albert, yeah, wake up, it's 8:30 in the morning. You need to go to school." He rolled over and slept that side. She went to the other side of the bed, "Albert, wake up, it is late for the school, you need to be going." Shook him, he rolled over this side and slept. She again walked over to the other side of the bed, went on. Then he opened his eyes and he said, "I don't want to go to school. I hate the damn school. The kids are terrible, the teachers are horrible, and what's happening there is unbearable. I don't want to go to school." Then the mother said, "Albert, you are 43 and you are the headmaster." Once you start thinking in a particular way, emotions will catch up and make the whole thing loaded, isn't it? Initially when you think something, it's quite okay. But once the emotions follow and catch up, now it becomes really loaded and heavy. You got to do something about it because the emotions have caught up with the thought. You just sit here and think, "She's quite horrible." "Oh, that's nice, it's just fun." You just tell yourself, "She's really horrible, my..." You'll see in 2 days' time, your emotion will catch up with this thought. If you just see her, you'll go through all kinds of things because your emotions have caught up. Initially when you just generated a thought, it was okay. But once the emotion catches up, it gets really loaded and overwhelming it becomes. So, the same thing happens reverse also. You think, "Oh, she's really nice, really nice, really nice, really nice." So, there's no emotion, doesn't need any handling. If you keep your thought on track, emotion will follow.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. Can you speak about Linga Bhairavi, which you will be consecrating, and her qualities?
It'll be a very different kind of force. The only problem is because she will be so much more easier for people to experience it. Because she will be so much… it'll be raw energy, it'll not be subtle like Dhyanalinga. There is a possibility people start thinking that Linga Bhairavi is far more powerful than Dhyanalinga and it may attract more crowds than Dhyanalinga, but that's not right. Why I'm saying this is, anything in the world, the subtler things always attract less people than grosser things. I'm not saying Linga Bhairavi is gross, but she's raw energy. People can feel that so much more easily, and people can use that for their material well-being much better than Dhyanalinga. Linga Bhairavi is that kind of energy that people could use it for many things. Dhyanalinga is not available for such things, it's of a completely different nature. So she may become more popular. I fear that she may. Right now, a lot of people are saying Tirtha Kund is more powerful than Dhyanalinga. They only come and take a dip and go. lot of people. This was prepared only as a preparation for that. But they're saying just like Hatha Yoga has become more popular than anything else, it's just the same thing. It is only a preparatory step, but the preparatory step has become more popular than the yoga itself. So, those things can happen. What is the essential nature of Linga Bhairavi? She will not be like Kali, she will not ask for blood on a daily basis. She will be consecrated in a different way. She is also mercury-based. So, because there is rasa, mercury is referred to as rasa. Because of rasa, she won't need any outside help. But still, she will need some maintenance. Dhyana Linga doesn't need any maintenance. But this will need some maintenance. At least once a month she will need maintenance. If you talk about the science, it is just another kind of consecration, it is just very feminine. If you talk about the traditions, the Devi tradition is very much there. Goddess worship has been everywhere in the world, everywhere. In India, it's a very live force. Linga Bhairavi will be different in the sense, one thing is, she is not a three-dimensional figure. Never before probably a goddess has been, or there have been, yes. Not exactly like this, but something has been there. If you've been to Calcutta, anybody been to Dakshineshwar? If you've been to Dakshineshwar, you must see there's a place called Hazar Hath Kali. Been to Hazar Hath? Hazar Hath means 1,000 armed Kali. This is not even a three-dimensional figure again, it's just coming out of the wall. It's just maintained by one woman, barely known this place, it's deep inside some locality. Some local person took me there and that's an incredibly powerful place. You should see that woman, that priestess who is there, wow, she is something. She's a real woman. You should see that woman, she is bursting like that. She's a goddess herself. She's really fantastic, that woman. So, Linga Bhairavi will be very… It's very hard to describe these things, but during a certain phase of the consecration of the Dhyana Linga, I took on a completely different kind of attitude and character and energy about myself, which I was just trying to adjust my system to… part of it to turn feminine. Because I was trying to play somebody else's role and fulfill that. At that time I took on a particular kind of form which was… which some people loved and some people were terrified of. So Linga Bhairavi will be somewhat like that. Some people will fall in love with her, some people will be terrified of her. But nobody can ignore her, she will be like that. A woman should not be ignored, isn't it? You must shun her or you must love her, not ignore her. And this is going to be a very powerful woman. Womanhood in a very essential way, in a very raw way.